Ty's bombshell has sent the entire cast and fans into a frenzy, with whispers turning into thunderous speculation after shocking claims surfaced. According to reports, Ty has allegedly revealed that Evelyn has been engaging in secret late-night meets with Chantel, and the entire situation has left everyone gasping for answers. These supposed encounters, filled with secrecy and tension, are now at the center of one of the most jaw-dropping scandals the franchise has ever seen. Sources say that Ty didn't hold back when she dropped this revelation, painting a picture of Evelyn sneaking around and Chantel meeting her in discreet locations, away from cameras and curious eyes. The alleged nature of these meets remains unclear. Were they plotting alliances, covering up deeper secrets, or was there something far more personal fueling these hidden rendezvous? What we do know is that emotions are running high, and questions about loyalty, betrayal, and intentions are dominating every conversation. Fans have been quick to react, flooding social media with fiery opinions and divided takes. Some insist that Evelyn is once again stirring chaos to maintain her spot in the spotlight, while others believe Chantal might be hiding motives of her own. Either way, the cast is left in utter disbelief, and tensions are about to explode in ways no one could have predicted. This isn't just a storm brewing that threatens to unravel friendships, alliances, and trust forever. Studio lights glare, the cameras roll, and a tense silence fills the room as Ty clears her throat, ready to unleash the secret that everyone has been whispering about, but no one dared to say out loud. Her voice is calm but laced with something heavier, a weight of betrayal and urgency. She begins by telling the cast that she has evidence, not just rumors, that Evelyn has been meeting Chantal in hidden places, away from the production crew and far from the public eye. The room shifts instantly, every pair of eyes narrowing on Evelyn and Chantal, both sitting rigidly, their hands fidgeting, unable to hide the sudden discomfort. Brandy is the first to break the silence, her voice rising with disbelief, asking what on earth these meets were about and why they were kept in secret. Ty doesn't flinch. She leans forward, describing how she had followed up on a tip from someone close to the cast who had seen Evelyn and Chantal together at a quiet rooftop lounge, whispering in corners and leaving separately to avoid suspicion. She paints a picture so vivid that even those in the room who wanted to doubt her begin to replay memories in their heads, realizing small moments that suddenly make more sense. Evelyn exhales sharply, her face tightening as she accuses Ty of spinning lies just to create tension. But Ty isn't finished. She raises her voice, reminding everyone that she's been in this circle long enough to know when something doesn't add up. She recalls moments on set when Chantal would vanish suddenly, claiming to take a call only for Evelyn to disappear. Moments later, with some excuse of her own, the coincidences begin to stack, and the energy in the room grows thick with suspicion. Chantal tries to intervene, her tone defensive yet shaky, insisting that she and Evelyn were only discussing private matters that had nothing to do with the group. But the more she tries to explain, the less convincing she sounds. Her voice cracks when she says, "We just needed space to talk without the noise." But fans watching this unravel feel the hesitation. It's a slight pause that betrays her words. Doug, usually quiet during the women's conflicts, unexpectedly asks the question that no one dared to voice. Why did these conversations require secret locations, and why couldn't they be held openly in front of the others if nothing suspicious was happening? The bluntness of his words cuts through the room, and all eyes swing back to Chantal and Evelyn. The silence that follows feels like an admission of guilt. Outside of the set, the news spreads like wildfire. Fans online begin dissecting every past episode, hunting for clips where Evelyn and Chantal exchange glances that lingered too long, whispers caught by microphones, or exits that seem timed perfectly. Twitter erupts with theories, some claiming that the two women were plotting to overthrow certain alliances, while others insist something far more intimate could be unfolding between them. The hashtags trend within hours, with fan-made edits showing montages of every moment that could possibly point toward a hidden connection. The pressure intensifies. When Tai pulls out her phone, scrolling to photos she claims were sent to her anonymously. The images slightly blurred but clear enough to recognize, appear to show Evelyn and Chantel sitting side by side at an upscale hotel bar. Their faces partially hidden behind wine glasses, leaning close as though their conversation was too delicate for others to hear. Gasps ripple across the set, with even those who had sided with Evelyn unable to mask their shock. Brandy slams her hand against the table, her frustration boiling over, demanding to know how long this has been going on and whether it has anything to do with the tension that's been building among the group. She points at Chantal, her words sharp. "You've been smiling in our faces while hiding something this big. How do you expect us to trust you now?" Chantal tries to defend herself, but her voice is drowned out by overlapping questions, accusations, and disbelief echoing from every corner. The emotional storm becomes too much. And Chantel suddenly rises from her seat, her eyes glassy with unshed tears. She says in a trembling voice that she never meant to hurt anyone, that she was just caught in a situation that spiraled out of control. But before she can elaborate, Evelyn interjects, her tone harsh, telling Chantal to stop explaining because it's no one else's business. The abruptness of her defense only adds more fuel to the fire, convincing everyone that there's more to the story than either of them is willing to admit. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, producers whisper about the potential fallout. The audience isn't just invested, they're demanding answers, creating polls and live discussions where fans debate whether Chantal is a victim, caught in Evelyn's manipulative games, or whether the two are co-conspirators hiding a truth that could fracture the cast permanently. As the episode drags on, tensions climb higher. Jackie, unable to stay silent, leans forward and tells Chantal directly that she deserves honesty after everything they've been through as friends. She asks, almost pleading, whether the rumors about deeper motives are true. Chantal hesitates, her lips parting as though the words are right there, but Evelyn shoots her a glare so piercing that she falls silent. The room catches that moment, that silent exchange. And the message is Claire Chantel is hiding something, and Evelyn is making sure it stays hidden. The unresolved tension becomes unbearable, and the women begin to turn on each other. Accusations fly, voices overlap, and the line between truth and manipulation blurs more with every passing minute. Yet, even in the chaos, the undeniable fact remains that Tai has opened a door that cannot be closed again. Whispers have become shouts, suspicions have become confrontations, and nothing about the group's fragile trust will ever be the same. The air in the room is so heavy, it feels like even the cameras are struggling to capture the tension without. Shaken Tai, sitting tall with her arms folded, doesn't back down for a second. She calmly says that she isn't here to create a scene. She's here to protect the integrity of the group, because secrets like these always explode at the wrong time. The cast shifts uncomfortably, each one realizing that whether or not they want to believe Tai, the evidence she laid out cannot be ignored. Brandy leans forward, her tone sharp and unforgiving, reminding Chantal that she once called Evelyn manipulative, a woman who thrived on drama and division. "So why?" she asks, her voice rising. "Would you of all people sneak around with her? You swore she was toxic, and now here we are." Chantal swallows hard, avoiding eye contact, her silence doing more damage than any denial could. Evelyn, clearly growing frustrated, finally snaps. She slams her hand on the table, shouting that this obsession with her life has gone too far. She insists that nothing improper has happened, that her conversations with Chantel were strictly private and unrelated to the rest of the cast. But her outburst only highlights how rattled she is. Fans watching from home immediately notice the way her voice cracks at the end, the way she looks at Chantal as if searching for backup. The others don't let it go. Jackie, whose history with Chantal is complicated enough already, points out how unusual it is for Chantal to risk her reputation by aligning herself with Evelyn of all people. She accuses Chantal of betraying the loyalty she's always preached, saying, "You can't play both sides and expect respect from either." The sting of those words hits hard. Chantal finally looks up, her eyes shimmering with a mixture of guilt and defensiveness. Doug, observing quietly, decides to push further. He asks Ty if she has more proof, something that leaves no room for speculation. Ty, unfazed, nods. She reveals that the anonymous source who sent her photos also provided screenshots of text exchanges, messages where Evelyn and Chantal allegedly coordinated their meets, carefully planning times when the rest of the cast would be busy. She begins to read snippets aloud, her voice steady. "Same place tonight. No one will notice," followed by another. "We'll keep it quiet until the time is right." The room collectively gasps, the weight of those words settling like a bomb. That just detonated. Chantel panics, her hands trembling as she insists the messages are taken out of context. "We weren't doing anything shady," she pleads, her voice breaking. "We were trying to protect someone," but she doesn't say who. The vagueness only deepens the mystery, and everyone in the room begins demanding clarity at once. Brandy doesn't give her a chance. She laughs bitterly and accuses Chantal of playing victim to cover up betrayal. "You always have some excuse, some half-truth," she spits, her frustration unrestrained. "But if you really cared about protecting anyone, you wouldn't be sneaking around like this." Chantal shakes her head violently, muttering that they don't understand. But the more she talks in circles, the less sympathy she earns. Outside the show, social media explodes again. Hashtags linking Chantal and Evelyn together climb the trending charts. Fans create split-screen images of them, overlaying suspicious moments from previous seasons with captions like "They've been plotting all along" and "Loyalty or lies." Theories multiply, some suggesting they're covering up a bigger betrayal involving Jennifer's personal life. Others claiming they're simply forming a dangerous alliance to dominate the group dynamic. Amidst the chaos, Ty quietly observes Chantal and Evelyn, noting the way they exchange silent looks, as though words are unnecessary between them. It's a detail that doesn't escape anyone's attention. Jackie points it out aloud, accusing them of communicating without speaking, which only fuels the idea that there's an unspoken pact at play. Chantel finally cracks under the weight of the pressure. She blurts out that she and Evelyn met in secret because they didn't trust anyone else with what they were discussing. But before she can explain further, Evelyn cuts her off sharply, telling her to stop talking. The harshness in Evelyn's tone stuns everyone, even Chantal, who recoils, as though slapped. That single moment leaves the room colder than ever, raising new questions about what exactly Evelyn is trying so desperately to control. The cast begins splitting down the middle. Brandy and Jackie push harder for the truth, convinced that Chantal and Evelyn are hiding something that could affect everyone. Others, like Doug, try to mediate, urging calm, but the mounting accusations make it impossible to find balance. Emotions run high, tears threaten to spill, and the once cohesive group starts to fracture under the strain of unanswered questions. Then Ty delivers the blow no one saw coming. She reveals that according to the source, one of the meets wasn't just a private talk. The same hotel where the photos were taken allegedly logged a room under an alias, paid in cash, but connected to Evelyn's account through incidental charges. The implication is explosive, and the room erupts. Chantal's face drains of color. Evelyn stares daggers at Ty, and the rest of the cast is left speechless, caught between disbelief and suspicion. Chantal clutches her chest, shaking her head, whispering under her breath that it isn't what they think. Evelyn, usually quick with comebacks, sits frozen for a moment before she lashes out, accusing Ty of manufacturing evidence. Anyone could make those receipts look like they're mine, she snaps. But her voice lacks the conviction she's known for. Brandy calls her bluff instantly, demanding to know why she looks so panicked if she's truly innocent. The more Evelyn denies, the louder everyone else gets. Chantal desperately tries to speak, her words tripping over each other, but no one listens long enough to hear her explanation. Instead, accusations fly in every direction. Alliances shift before the cameras, and the energy in the room becomes nearly unbearable. Outside, online fan pages begin dissecting the receipts Ty showed, slowing down screenshots from the episode. To match them with past locations, Evelyn has been spotted at. Amateur detectives claim the handwriting on the alias card matches Evelyn's signature from autographs. Others argue it's all too convenient that someone is framing her. The audience is just as divided as the cast itself. Meanwhile, Chantel sits silently, eyes brimming with tears. She finally whispers that there's more to the story than anyone realizes. But Evelyn glares at her so fiercely that she swallows the rest of her confession. That glare doesn't go unnoticed. Jackie leans forward, pointing it out, saying, "Why are you so afraid of her, Chantal? What does she have over you?" The question hangs in the air like a storm cloud, and Chantal's silence confirms suspicions, more than words ever could. For the first time in a long while, Evelyn looks cornered. Her shoulders slump, her breathing uneven, as though the weight of holding the secret is crushing her. Chantal covers her face with her hands, muttering something no one can catch. And the room leans in, desperate for answers. The unresolved tension becomes unbearable, and the atmosphere turns into a battlefield of suspicion, betrayal, and broken trust. The room feels suffocating as silence stretches longer than anyone can bear. Chantal keeps her face hidden behind her hands, refusing to look up, while Evelyn's glare slices through her like a knife. The rest of the cast exchange uneasy glances, realizing something huge is being left unsaid. Jackie's question still hangs heavy in the air. What does Evelyn have over Chantal? Brandy leans back in her chair, shaking her head slowly, almost in disbelief. "You know what this looks like? Okay," she says, her voice cutting like glass. "It looks like blackmail, okay? It looks like Chantal is trapped in something she doesn't want to be in. And Evelyn's pulling the strings." Her words land like a bomb, igniting murmurs from everyone present. Chantal's shoulders tremble, but she doesn't deny it. Instead, she whispers so faintly that the microphones barely catch it. "It's complicated." The phrase does nothing to calm the room, it only fuels the chaos further. Ty narrows her eyes, pressing her for answers. "Complicated doesn't cut it," she insists. "We need to know why you've been sneaking around, because right now, it looks like betrayal." Suddenly, Evelyn slams her hand against the table. Again, louder this time. "Enough." She yells, her voice trembling between anger and desperation. "You all think you're so perfect, but every single one of you has secrets. Don't come at me like I'm the only one guilty of something." She turns sharply toward Chantal, snapping, "Don't you dare say another word." The sharpness of Evelyn's warning shocks even the producers, who step forward as though ready to intervene. The cast freezes, torn between curiosity and fear. Chantal looks utterly broken, her lips trembling as if she wants to scream the truth, but can single quotes tell Jackie, never one to stay silent in moments like this, jumps up from her seat. "See, this is exactly what I'm talking about," she says, pacing the room. If there was nothing shady going on, why would Evelyn be silencing Chantal like this? You're exposed, Evelyn, and the harder you fight, the guiltier you look. The tension snaps like a whip when Chantal suddenly blurts out, "She promised me she'd protect me." Her words are raw, full of pain, and the room goes silent all over again. Brandy gasps audibly, while Ty's jaw drops. "Protect you from what?" Ty asks, her tone softer now, almost coaxing. Chantal's eyes dart nervously around the room, then to the cameras before she shakes her head violently. Unable to speak further, fans watching later rewind that exact moment over and over, analyzing Chantel's trembling voice, her body language, and the way Evelyn froze the second the word protect left her mouth. Theories explode online. Some claim Chantel is hiding a scandal that could ruin her image. Others believe Evelyn is using personal information to control her. Brandy, unwilling to let it go, presses harder. "Are you covering up for Evelyn? Or is she covering up for you?" she demands. Chantel's silence speaks louder than words, and Evelyn snaps back defensively, accusing Brandy of twisting everything for clout. But the damage is done. The seed of doubt is planted, and everyone in the room now looks at Evelyn with suspicion instead of trust. Doug, trying to play peacemaker, asks Chantel directly if she feels safe. The question startles everyone, and Chantal's delayed answer, "I don't know," sends chills through the room. Evelyn immediately lashes out, saying this has gone too far, that this is no longer about group drama but personal attacks. She storms toward the door, threatening to leave the set altogether. Producers scramble, blocking her exit, reminding her of her contract. Evelyn reluctantly returns to her seat, but her composure is shattered. Her hands shake as she grips her phone, scrolling furiously as if searching for something to defend herself with. The cameras zoom in, catching every flicker of panic across her face. At that moment, Ty strikes again, pulls out her phone, and reveals one more piece of evidence she's been holding. A short video clip allegedly taken at the same hotel. Though the footage is grainy, two figures resembling Evelyn and Chantel can be seen entering a private lounge, whispering closely before disappearing behind a door together. The clip is just a few seconds long, but it's enough to ignite chaos all over again. Brandy jumps to her feet, throwing her hands in the air. "That's it. You can't deny this anymore. You were sneaking around, and we all deserve to know why." Chantal bursts into tears, shaking uncontrollably, while Evelyn clenches her jaw, refusing to answer. The entire cast begins talking over each other, voices overlapping in a storm of accusations and disbelief. Outside the show, fan reactions go wild. The clip is replayed millions of times, with viewers debating whether it's authentic or staged. Hashtags like #CHANTEL and Evelyn and #SneakySisters dominate timelines. Some fans defend Chantel, saying she looks pressured, while others accuse her of betraying the group for personal gain. Evelyn, once celebrated for her boldness, faces a tidal wave of criticism and suspicion back on set. Jackie leans closer to Chantel, lowering her voice, but making sure the cameras still catch every word. "Listen," she says, almost motherly. "If she's got something over you, this is your chance to take your power back. Don't let her silence you anymore." Chantel sniffles, torn between fear and desperation. Evelyn glares daggers at Jackie, spitting back, "Stay out of this. You don't know what you're talking about?" But Jackie doesn't back down. She reminds everyone that secrets always find their way out. And the longer Chantal keeps hers, the harder it'll hit when it explodes. Chantal covers her face again, whispering through tears. "You don't understand. If I say it, everything changes." That single sentence electrifies the atmosphere. Everyone leans in, breath held, waiting for her to continue. Even Evelyn, for the first time, looks genuinely fearful instead of defensive. But Chantal breaks down, sobbing too hard to speak, leaving the room suspended in unbearable anticipation. The producers call for a short break, hoping to calm things down. But instead, the pause only intensifies speculation. Brandy paces outside, venting to Ty about how fed up she is with lies. Jackie sits with her arms crossed, muttering that she won't stop until Chantal spills everything. Meanwhile, cameras catch Evelyn pulling Chantal aside, whispering urgently, her tone sharp and threatening. Though the microphones can't catch every word, fans later live read clips and claim Evelyn said, "Don't ruin me, Chantel. Don't you dare." The whispers ignite even more speculation online. Fan forums explode with theories that Evelyn has leverage over Chantel financial secrets, relationship scandals, or even past betrayals hidden from the cameras. No one knows the truth yet, but one thing becomes clear. The alliance between Evelyn and Chantal is far darker than anyone imagined. When filming resumes, tensions remain sky high. Brandy immediately demands answers again, while Ty warns that if Chantal doesn't speak, someone else eventually will. The weight of the moment hangs so heavy that every word feels like a potential bombshell waiting to drop. Chantal opens her mouth to speak, hesitates, then closes it again. Her silence louder than any confession. Jackie slams her hand on the table. Fed up. Enough games. Chantal, either you tell us what's going on or we'll find out ourselves. But one way or another, the truth is coming out. The camera zooms in on Chantel's tear-streaked face as she looks between Evelyn, Jackie, and Ty, trapped in the middle of a war she can't escape. And just when it seems like she might finally break her silence, Evelyn leans in close and whispers something into her ear. Chantal's expression changes instantly. Her face goes pale, her lips press tightly shut, and she shakes her head with finality. Whatever Evelyn said was enough to stop her cold, leaving everyone else stunned and furious. At the unrelenting secrecy that the room is so still you can hear every shaky breath Chantal takes. Her silence is deafening, and the more she refuses to speak, the more the tension grows unbearable. Evelyn sits back slowly, her lips curled into a faint smirk, as though she knows she's won, at least for now. But Jackie isn't letting it slide. "Oh no, sweetheart," Jackie says firmly, her voice carrying through the room. "You might think you've shut Chantal down, but I promise you, the truth always has a way of spilling out." Brandy leans forward, her eyes locked on Chantal. "You're not protecting yourself, you're protecting her," she accuses. And the question is, why? Chantal's lip quivers, but she keeps her head down. Ty slams her hand on the table, unable to hold her frustration in any longer. "I've shown receipts, I've shown clips. I've shown the meats. What else do we need before somebody actually admits what's going on?" The cameras catch every second of the chaos, zooming in on Chantel's tear-stained face, on Evelyn's tightened jaw, and on Jackie pacing the floor like a detective closing in on her prime suspect. Producers whisper nervously in the background, debating whether to step in or let the drama run wild. And then suddenly, Chantal speaks, her voice shaking, but louder than before. "You don't understand," she cries out. She's the only one who knows what really happened that night. Her confession hits the room like thunder. Everyone freezes. Brandy tilts her head, stunned. Ty leans closer, her curiosity burning. "What night, Chantal? What are you talking about?" Evelyn's entire body stiffens, her eyes widening for the briefest moment before she masks it with anger. "Don't," she warns Chantal, her tone sharp enough to slice the air. "Don't you dare go there." Jackie jumps at the opening. "So there was a night," she declares triumphantly. "A night we all don't know about. Oh, baby, you just messed up." The cast erupts with overlapping voices, demanding answers, throwing accusations, and pushing Chantal to finally spill everything. Chantel covers her face again, sobbing uncontrollably. "I can't," she mutters. "If I tell you everything, we'll explode. Families will fall apart. I'll lose everything." Brandy slams her palm down on the table. "Girl, look around you. It's already exploding. Evelyn has been out here lying to all of us, dragging you down with her, and you're the one taking the hits. How long are you going to let her control your life?" Evelyn, desperate now, rises from her chair and yells over everyone. "You don't know what you're talking about. Chantal owes me her silence, and she knows why. She speaks, it won't. Just be me. Destroy Detal, be all of you." Her voice shakes, betraying fear behind her bravado. The room gasps collectively at the threat. Jackie scoffs loudly. "See, that's the problem with you, Evelyn. You think you're the puppet master, but tonight, Those strings are snapping. She turns to Chantal and softens her voice. Baby, you don't have to be afraid anymore. Say it. Say what really happened. The air is heavy. But the biggest question remains unanswered. Who was Evelyn really sneaking around with? And what secrets does she still hold over Chantal? The truth lingers like a storm cloud, promising even more chaos when it finally breaks. The cameras fade. On Chantal wiping her tears, Evelyn staring coldly at the floor, and the rest of the cast whispering about what might come next. Fans are left buzzing, divided, and desperate for answers that no one seems ready to give. As the dust settles on this explosive night, one thing is clear: nothing will ever be the same again. Ty's bold move to expose Evelyn's secret meets with Chantal has not only divided the cast but also left fans scrambling for answers. Chantal's emotional breakdown, her confession about covering for Evelyn, and the shocking revelation that there was more to these meetings than anyone imagined has shaken the entire dynamic to its core. The question on everyone's lips is simple, yet powerful. Who was Evelyn really sneaking around with? And why did she need Chantal to shield her? More importantly, what dangerous secrets does Evelyn hold over Chantal that keep her so terrified to speak fully? The cast may have confronted her, but the bigger story is far from over. Social media has already erupted with speculation, trending, hashtags, and fan theories that point in every direction. Some believe Evelyn has been protecting a relationship that could shatter more than just her reputation, while others think Chantal may be hiding her own involvement in something much darker. Whatever the case, one thing is certain: this drama has reached a level nobody saw coming. And now we turn it over to you. What do you think is really going on between Evelyn and Chantal? Do you believe Chantal was simply a pawn, or is there more to her story than she's letting on? And most importantly, who do you think Evelyn was secretly meeting? Drop your theories in the comments below, because we know fans are never afraid to speak their minds. Don't forget to like this video if you're shocked by tonight's revelations. Subscribe for more updates as this chaos unfolds. And hit that bell icon so you never miss the next twist in this unbelievable saga.